Hello and welcome everyone to this IFA press event. Let me get straight to the point. Here is the most important announcement for today. IFA 2022 is going ahead. Full size, real life, as a hands-on, on-location event without compromise. And I'm really happy, at long last, I can confidently make this statement on behalf of Messe Berlin and of course on behalf of GFU, the hosts of IFA. Like so many other parts of the world, we had to hit pause and effectively take a 2-year break. Yes, in 2020 we had a small-scale IFA special edition. Last year, as new variants kept emerging, we had to cancel our event outright. For both exhibitors and visitors, the risk of a sudden new lockdown was simply too big. The health regulations at the time would have allowed us to go ahead with IFA 2021. But what if a new variant, like Omicron, had arrived a few months earlier? We simply couldn't take the risk. Importantly, we didn't want anybody else to have to take this risk. But now, it's 2022, and the situation has changed significantly. I'm certain we all feel the same. It's been a tough 2.5 years for everyone. Our world has suffered. We have seen illness and death, economic uncertainty, lost livelihoods, and endless lockdowns. Now, however, finally, most of the world is emerging from this pandemic. Finally, it's time to reconnect, interact, collaborate, and co-innovate, to rekindle friendships and partnerships, to meet people face to face, not as a flat image on a screen, doing a call on Zoom, Teams, WebEx, or whatever's the conferencing solution of your choice. It is time for a return to normal. But let's be clear, this will not be the normal of 2019. Our world has changed too much for that. We all have changed, how we work, how we live. But there's something that has not changed: the human fundamentals, the need to meet in real life. And you all will remember the first few days and weeks after the lockdown ended, where you live. The buzz we all felt when suddenly we were able to see our friends and family again, when we could sit down with colleagues in real life, not just on a virtual call, when there wasn't a constant chorus of "you're on mute." And that's why our industry, brands, manufacturers and retailers alike, are raring to come back to Berlin, to fill the halls at Messe Berlin and make IFA 2022 a success. I'm pleased to confirm that 15 of our top 20 exhibitors have already confirmed that they will be at IFA 2022, and nearly all of them at the same scale as in 2019, the last year before the pandemic. And for the bigger picture, we are seeing really strong bookings across the board for our exhibition spaces. And so, unlike other recent trade shows, which were at half strength or thereabouts, we are confident that IFA 2022, from the 2nd to the 6th of September this year, will give you your first chance since the start of the pandemic to experience a real and global technology show. An event that lets you experience the full breadth of our industry across consumer electronics and household appliances. And all in one place. I've been asked why both brands and retailers are so keen to come to Berlin. And it's simple, really. The pandemic triggered a boom for technology products. During the past 2 years, our world has become more digital than ever before. Technology, literally, saved lives. It protected millions of jobs. And, quite frankly, it helped us keep our sanity and wellness during difficult times. And this has triggered a huge amount of innovation, with new products and services for a world that is technologically more advanced than ever before. And where consumers have new expectations for how they want to live and work. Where the home is a cocoon and where people follow new hybrid work patterns. But the pandemic has also resulted in a disconnect. It has become really difficult to see where our industry is at. And let's be honest, attending a succession of virtual events without hands-on experiences simply does not give you a chance to compare and contrast innovation. And because of that, because the experience of innovation, the joy of hands-on discovery has faded, brands now urgently need to reconnect with retailers, with media, and most importantly, with consumers. If we look further down the supply chain, then the need to reconnect gets even more pressing. The tech boom of the past 2 years could have been even bigger. But as you all know, the pandemic also disrupted global supply chains. Here in Europe, things get worse after a huge container ship got stuck in the Suez Canal. And right now, up to 1/5 of all shipping capacity is stuck in congestion at one port or another. And so we all know, global supply chains are still twisted. And for many manufacturers, they have just been twisted even further as a result of Russia's attack on Ukraine and the resulting global sanctions. Because Eastern Europe, not least both Ukraine and Russia, are important cogs and parts in the global machinery producing appliances and consumer electronics. Retailers and manufacturers urgently must meet face to face to talk, negotiate, and disentangle the disruptions. And let me be crystal clear. This year's IFA is happening at a crucial time for our industry. And it could not happen at a better time. The past 2 years have seen an extraordinary boom for technology. Now is the time to make sure that this is not a one-off, that this boom does not simply fade away. And we stand ready to help, so that the next generation of innovative services and devices finds an audience, finds consumers. Our industry needs a platform that allows them to clear up any uncertainties about supply chains and helps them to refocus their marketing activities so that brands can reconnect with consumers. And that's the reason why we had such a positive reaction from retailers across Europe and beyond. All the big retail groups have already confirmed they will be in Berlin. They are ready to see the action. Because from where they stand, it's clear. IFA is a key platform for our industry. It's where they can reconnect with brands. It's where they can be reassured that products will flow. And that's why retailers tell me they expect every single brand and manufacturer that they work with to be here in Berlin. And of course, it's here at IFA where everybody, retailers, brands and media, can feel the buzz, see what resonates, and connect with the friends, partners and experts that for 2 long years you have only seen at a distance, through the screens of your laptops or mobile devices. And we in Berlin, we are ready to make it happen. The restrictions and lockdowns have been lifted. Messe Berlin has already hosted the first of several big trade fairs this year. The leading trade fair for global food trade, Food Logistica, with 40,000 trade visitors and journalists from 130 countries. And in fact, right now, as I'm speaking, 2 trade fairs are happening here at Messe Berlin. We know we can organize and run an IFA Berlin 2022 that is the real thing and safe. But let's be clear, this pandemic is not fully over yet. We also know not everybody will be able to come to Berlin. Maybe because of travel restrictions at home, maybe because they have to continue shielding for themselves or members of their family. And that's why IFA Berlin 2022 will have an extensive virtual program as well. These past 2 years, just like we have learned how to use Zoom and Teams, we have also learned what works and what doesn't work when it comes to virtual events. And there won't be a full online replication of all the products on show at IFA, because it's pointless. All you need is a web browser and a good search engine for that. What we will bring online and show you in a virtual space is the real-time stuff that has always brought you to Berlin. With all the important press conferences and of course all the keynotes that you want and need to see. And no, these digital extensions won't be the metaverse yet. And you won't be able to touch the products and gadgets online. For the real life experience, you have to come here, in real life. But if you cannot come to Berlin this year, we will make sure that you don't miss out completely on our industry's major trends, all the production innovation, and the all-important global brand announcements. So, I've just mentioned the keynotes. Let me pick up on this straight away. This year's IFA opening keynote will be given live on stage and in person by none other than Cristiano Amon, the Chief Executive of Qualcomm.
Excitement for IFA 2022 is building. I'm honored to be this year's opening keynote speaker, and I'm looking forward to sharing how Qualcomm is driving the pace of innovation for 5G and AI across devices and experiences. This is helping to enable the connected intelligent edge, where billions of smart devices can be reliably connected to the cloud, changing how you live, work, and play. Join us in Berlin on September 2nd to learn more.
Many thanks, Cristiano. Much appreciated. And of course, there will be more keynotes, which we will reveal in a due course. And okay, so you have heard why brands and manufacturers want to come to IFA, why retailers are coming. And you have had a tiny sneak peek at this year's keynote. But why should you come? Beyond the joy of meeting friends and colleagues again, hearing from great speakers and being hands-on with real innovation. Well, as I said before, a lot has changed in the world of technology during these past 2 years. And it's going to shape our future. So let's get a feel for the trends ahead. Let's hear it from the experts. First up among the trend spotters is Paul Gray of Omdia Electronics.
Hello, I'm Paul Gray, Research Director at Omdia for Consumer Electronics. And I'd like to talk to you about some of the things that we see changing in the consumer electronics environment this year, and we will be able to see at the IFA trade show in Berlin in September. And one of the big ones that's really happened in consumer electronics now is a shift towards providing better support for gaming, from simple things like much more choice of headsets for consumers for gaming, but also now into TV sets where gaming support has become a really major feature category, from support for higher frame rates, like for example 144 Hz or 120 Hz, but also variable frame rates that allow consumers to get the really best gaming experience as it squeezes out the best from graphics cards in consoles or PCs. At the same time, there's another big shift that's really exciting, which is a shift in the gaming business from being based on consoles and packaged media, just like video and audio in the past, to being online and streamed. And that we see cloud gaming is becoming a really important category. It's a really good use of the smart TV capability, and with a very small amount of extra hardware, consumers can then actually go and play games without a console, and in particular multiplayer games. So it really addresses the casual gaming market very well. And we expect that the cloud gaming business is going to grow and more than double from this year's $5 billion to almost $12 billion in 2026. Of course, streaming has been an amazing success in the last couple of years, and many, many more consumers are now using streaming services. Over the pandemic, consumers just watch more TV, both linear, live TV, conventional TV, if you like, from broadcasters, but also from their streaming services. And we expect that the home cinema market is going to grow as more consumers take advantage of Hollywood also now simultaneously launching and releasing movies on streaming platforms as well as conventionally through cinemas. So that's going to be a big change, and we expect it will add value to the home cinema market. Another way that brands are adding value to home cinema is a move to emissive technologies. OLED's been a great success over the last few years and has grown very, very strongly in Europe. And now Samsung this year will launch its QD-OLED product, a new emissive OLED technology. And will be interesting to see how LCD technologies fight back. So mini LED started off fairly slowly last year because of component shortages, and it becomes more mature this year, and we will watch with interest to see how Mini LED manages to respond to the challenge from OLED. A final one to watch very carefully is that there are new players entering the TV business. So service providers who offer TV and video services are now entering the market. We saw Sky launch in the UK last year with Sky Glass, its own TV range, and also we saw Amazon launch their own TV called Omni in the United States. And it really brings a shift to the way that people buy TV hardware, that it becomes much more like mobile phones, where you have a TV, the hardware as part of the service package and as part of your subscription, in much the way that consumers are very, very familiar with doing that in mobile phones. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens on that as well, and I really look forward to researching it in future at IFA. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. So these were a few of the big entertainment and consumer trends, but let's do a close-up. Let's look at the numbers and see what's happening in the market right now. Here's Norbert Herzog at business intelligence company GfK.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to talk about those exciting consumer tech and durable markets today, for which IFA is so famous for providing a platform for all stakeholders. So first of all, let me thank you, IFA, GFU and Messe Berlin, for giving GfK the opportunity to speak today. My name is Norbert Herzog. I'm speaking on behalf of GfK, the leading-edge AI-powered intelligence platform in this space. But let's go back to the topic. What are the key trends shaping the markets of 2022? To understand that, we need to think of the year 2021 as an exceptional record year with a growth of 12%. Naturally, we will see some challenges ahead with this base effect in mind. What are those challenges? Be it raw material prices increasing, logistic costs soaring, but also the Omicron wave, hitting hard on Chinese harbors and Chinese production sites. And not to forget the Russian and Ukrainian conflict. Especially the latter is significantly pulling down the European consumer sentiment right now. With the lowest levels within the last 12 months, we see for the first time again a negative number of an index of minus 0.5. What does all of that mean? It means deceleration, for sure. While we had seen an outstanding growth of $150 billion in 2021, our forecast for 2022 is $35 billion. That is roughly 75% less absolute growth compared to last year. But in percentage, that is still a growth of 2%. However, the year 2022 started out slower, as expected. January-February started with a minus 3% in US dollar. But let's not forget the impact of the strong US dollar versus the euro. If we look at the same number in euros, it is actually a plus 4%. And just looking at the European region, it is even a plus 7%. So what are the opportunities? Clearly, consumers staying more at home is one of the drivers still. 63% of consumers confirm that they would like to work from home at least 3 days or more a week. This is also driving upgrading behavior and, in the end, premium. In hard facts, premium sales grow by 32% in 2021, so very much more than the total market. Hence, it grabbed more and more market share, and now every fourth dollar is already spent on such aspirational products. And COVID told us to be much more digital, and online sales rose to unseen levels, and that meant a growth of more than 50% versus the year 2019. Incredible performance and incredible opportunity. But how should the market stakeholders react to that? Firstly, they need to understand the transformed demands of consumers and how their products support them in a specific use case. They need to ask if their products address the correct layer of professionalism, or if it bundles in all benefits for convenience. Secondly, consumers want to upgrade. So a focus on innovation is mandatory, but it doesn't just mean adding functionalities. It can also be a sustainable product that is triggering a premium sale. So yes, sustainability can command a higher price, but that's not all. Let me detail one example from the washing machines market. Here, historically, the energy labels have made sustainability quite transparent. Today, the best-in-class A-labeled washing machine, let's take an 8-kilogram one here, is commanding a premium price of 72% compared to one that is labeled with a D label. But sustainability is more than just a trigger to pay more. It is actually a survival strategy. Why? Because by 2030, eco-active consumers could already capture roughly 50% of the market and influence them with their purchasing behavior. This means that if you take advantage as a first mover with that potential, you can grab all the benefits, both for the brand and the business. Finally, consumers are looking for a digital and physical purchase journey. In case you own the touch points, be it consulting in-store, picking up in-store, and/or delivering home, you have all the means to exploit the potential best. Making this a seamless purchase experience will give you another big opportunity to win in 2022. With that, again, let me thank you, IFA, for giving us the opportunity to speak today. And let me add personally, I'm very much looking forward to meeting all of you at IFA in September.
Thank you, Norbert. You've just heard it. Consumers want a digital and physical buyer's journey. And hand on heart, the same is true for everybody. Manufacturers, retailers, and of course you, the media. Yes, our industry is powering the virtual world, but virtual experiences are only complementing real life. They're not replacing it. And that's why there's simply nothing that compares to the real experience. Being at a trade show, coming to IFA Berlin, walking the halls under the Funkturm at Messe Berlin, and experiencing the future today. Of course, as always, there's more to IFA. IFA Next, the innovation hub to IFA, will return with partners like Business France, the world-famous Fraunhofer Research Institute, the Korea Electronics Association, who are Korea's CTA or GFU, the Korea ICT Association, and many others. Organized by ZVEI, ZVH, and VDE, IFA Next will also showcase the latest innovation all around the connected home. By then, IFA Next, of course, will focus on what it does best, bringing together the world's top innovators, research institutes, promising startups, and forward-thinking businesses, and explore the latest technology trends to show how they will transform everyday consumer living. You can look forward to exhibits on artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, 5G, robotics, smart living, digital health, education, sustainability, and immersive experiences. And just a reminder, last time in 2019, IFA Next was home to 250 exhibitors and startups from 31 countries. And IFA Next is already going to make waves in just a few days from now, when IFA Next will host an exclusive event in Berlin to launch the eWave X, the latest sustainable electric vehicle from Next Ego, a hugely innovative German mobility startup that focuses on urban transport to a global audience. Joining us for this unveil will be none other than Neymar, one of the world's best and best-known football players. IFA Next is inviting you all to watch this event on May 5th. It will be streamed live on our website. Photography is making its large-scale debut in Berlin this year, with many industry brands coming to IFA and with our collaboration with the creative events at Berlin Photo Week. And by the way, Berlin Photo Week is partnering this year with fabled picture agency Magnum, who are celebrating their 75th anniversary here in Berlin at IFA. It will be a feast for your eyes. Shift Mobility will also return, focusing on how sustainability and tech are driving the future of mobility. It's all this and more that you can look forward to. And in turn, that's why I'm really looking forward to welcoming you all at IFA Berlin 2022. And trust me, this will be a show that you don't want to miss. Hope to see all of you in September in Berlin.